Hey guys! I realize it's been a while since I actually sat down and had a cheeky bant with you, and I have missed out on telling you some pretty important things. In other words, April was a really eventful month for me. Now, I obviously started the month off crafting along with the rest of the fandom thanks to Dan and Phil Crafts, and participating in the Mish Apocalypse, because why wouldn't you? Now I followed that up by flashing my neighbor. Now, hold up, this was entirely accidental. Let me explain. Living in an RV gives you the choice of either using your small showers that you have in your house or using the larger showers that they have at the campgrounds. I usually opt out for those because they're perfect for shower dance sessions. Go ahead and judge me. I am small and I am fearless and I will fight you. So on the day of the crime, I was going through with my normal routine I have. I set things out, I got him dressed, when the painful urge to pee suddenly crashed over my bladder. If you've watched my previous videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and this can just be a follow-up for my forever malfunctioning body. Now, no one else was in the bathroom at the time, as I had checked beforehand, and there's a little code you have to punch in on the door in order to get in the bathroom. So I decided to chance it and run the short distance between the shower stall I was in and the bathroom stall that was literally 5 feet away in order to relieve my troublesome bladder. Now, I had done this plenty of times before with no problem, and usually I remember to take a towel with me. So when I heard the little beeps being put into the code for the front door, I panicked hardcore. I had already made it to the other stall and I didn't have my towel on me, so I lunged across the short distance to grab my towel at the same time that my neighbor came in. Now, there was an awkward moment between the both of us where my brain repeatedly slammed that red abort mission button, causing me to fall backwards into the stall behind me. At the same time, her brain was visibly slamming the same abort mission button, causing her to dodge back out the door before she blew her cover and got a full frontal of my pale, naked body. Honestly, if she saw my butt, she probably thought it was the moon. I am so sorry. I'm just so pale. I was so embarrassed. I mean, sure, we're both biologically female and we technically have the same parts and everything, so it's not anything new, but I'm sure the last thing my neighbor thought that was gonna happen when she walked in the bathroom is to see a panicked teen just naked running in between stalls. Hopefully the glow from my pale skin was enough to blind her so she wasn't stuck with the naked image of my body to haunt her dreams. After that, I tried to play it pretty safe for the rest of April, and I think it's accurate enough to say that I finished about 5 or 6 animes while doing so. And then, after a good 25 days of procrastinating schoolwork, binge watching anime, and just crying inside because I'm too lazy to go outside to practice my flute plays for graduation, I realized Dan and Phil's tour started this month, and I had previously bought tickets to go with Jenna. Ever since I had ordered the tickets, I had shoved the idea that I'm attending Tatinof and seeing Dan and Phil in real life in the back of my head, which of course meant that I had absolutely no mental preparation for when I woke up on Tuesday and realized the show was that night. The hardest part was the obnoxious anticipation throughout the entire day. Now, my pop was picking up Jenna and then picking me up after he got off of work, and assuming that there was going to be a lot of traffic and it was going to take a long time to get there, he got off of work early. We ended up getting to the Performing Arts Center 3 hours before the show started. So obviously Jenna and I occupied ourselves not by mentally preparing ourselves like we should, but walking around Fort Lauderdale and completely avoiding the subject of what would be happening in 3 hours' time. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. This is a spoiler-free video. Rest easy, my children. We saw so many people wearing cat whiskers and so many people wearing fan merch, and I was dressed obnoxiously myself, honestly, so it was really easy to tell who was going to the show and who wasn't. The doors didn't open until about 15 minutes before the show started, but they let us in the actual building about an hour before so that we can kind of just sit there and internally die while waiting. So Jenna and I found these 2 enormous and obnoxiously comfortable seats that we sat in for that time duration, still avoiding mentally preparing ourselves, of course, and we hear the VIP section start to shout. Did I just hear them shout Wildcats? Sure enough, not long after, there is another shout. What team? And the entire place just erupted, finishing the High School Musical reference. Wildcats. The atmosphere was absolutely incredible, and the show hadn't even started and I was already giggly and smiley and the adrenaline was like pumping through my body. And it's fine, it's just really casual Tuesday. I think it started to set in when we could hear Dan and Phil's voices while they're doing the soundtrack through the walls right next to us. I say I think, but I remember the exact moment when Jenna and I looked up, made eye contact, and I could just see the realization all over her face. After what seemed like forever, we finally got to go to our seats, and honestly it felt like we had special treatment. When I had ordered the tickets, I did not realize that we ordered box seats. So when the workers led us to our section, I thought they had led us to the wrong place. Weren't these reserved for VIP? I don't think you understand. We have our own box. You can't see your face. Oh. That's depressing. It's too pretty. Oh, dang. We had a near perfect view of the stage and the entire audience, and we didn't have to interact with people, and that was absolutely fantastic. Now, the music they were playing was clearly familiar with everybody there, because every time a song came on, the crowd would just start singing in unison. And warning, I'm gonna insert a clip. It's not really a spoiler, but if you don't want to see the audience singing, cut this off now. And right on cue at 7:30, the show started. And if you have seen Tatinof, you know exactly what I mean by that show was absolutely the most fun I have ever had. I am mildly surprised and kind of disappointed that I don't have a 12-pack from how much I was laughing at the show, and the fact that I got to spend that time with my friend who I've known since, ironically, 2009 made it that much better. The energy Dan and Phil had on stage was absolutely contagious, and you can really tell that they were enjoying themselves, and the stage production was beyond anything that I have ever seen, and you could just really appreciate the amount of effort that they put into the show. It was just mind-blowing to see these two people who I've idolized for so many years in real life, not in still photos and not behind a screen. They are real people, and they are tall as shit, and their accents, I love it. Honestly, the only thing I was disappointed in was the fact that we couldn't take pictures as a memory, but I completely understand why, and I really hope that they release a documentary when the tour is over. It was a great way to end the month, and I am so grateful not only to my nanny and pop for buying the tickets for us, but also for Dan and Phil for putting together something so spectacular for all of us to see. It is definitely a memory I will hold on to for the rest of my life, and it'll be really hard for anything to surpass the experience that gave me. Now all that's left is for us to wait for the US merch to come out, because we made the horrible decision of waiting until after the show to go and buy stuff, and the line ended up being wrapped around the entire building. Pro tip, buy your merch before the show. Anyways, that is it for this video. If anybody else went to Tatinof, why don't you share how amazing your experience was down in the comments below. Just please, please, please keep it spoiler friendly. Have a wonderful day, Cringe Parade. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, stay curious.